Hello and welcome you once again in this new session of history. And today we are going to start your chapter number 8, Mahatma Gandhi and the National Movement. In this chapter, we are going to read about the Mahatma Gandhi's national movement, about the Khilafat movement, Rowlatt Act, Jallianwala Bagh tragedy, program and suspension of Chauri Chaura incident, and many others are there like civil obedience and crisp missions. Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. His full name was Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, popularly known as the Bapu or a Mahatma Gandhi. Completely dominated by the Indian national movement from 1909 to 1948. That is why this period is known as the Gandhian era or Gandhian time in the Indian history. No words are enough to describe Mahatma Gandhi's contributions to India's freedom struggle. His early life, we have to see his early life also. Mahatma Gandhi was born in 1869 in Porbandar at Kathiawar district of Gujarat. His father was a Diwan of Rajkot state. In 1888, he went to England to study law, and after completing his studies, he came back to India and started practicing law at Rajkot. And from 1893 to 1914, he practiced law in South Africa. In South Africa, in South Africa, it was a great time for him. Its journey by train from Durban to Pretoria, he was forcibly thrown out of the first class compartment even though he had a valid ticket. Gandhiji was hurt by the racial injustice and discriminations to which Indians had to submit in South Africa. Indians could not travel with the European and were not allowed to enter the hotels and the clubs meant for Europeans. So one day when Gandhiji was traveling in the first class from Durban to Pretoria, he was thrown out by the Britishers. He faced the racial discrimination. Then he learned that all the Indians who are residing in Africa were not allowed to travel with the Europeans. They were not allowed to go in the hotels, clubs. So Gandhiji became the leader of the struggle on the justice in South Africa. So Gandhiji started his leadership in South Africa in 1893 to 1940. He emerged as a hero against the racial system. He forced the Natal Indian Congress and suffered imprisonment. He started his non-violent civil disobedience movement to protest against the discrimination treatment made out to the Indians. And in 1914, Gandhiji returned back to India in the month of January. And next 4 years in studying the Indian situation during this course of 1917 and 1918 was involved the three significant movement was done by him. And these three struggles were first Champaran in Bihar, then in Ahmedabad and in Kheda, Gujarat. So what has happened in the Champaran? It was in Satyagraha. Champaran Satyagraha was held in 1917 where Gandhiji was first great experiment in Satyagraha. That was in Champaran 1917. It was against the indigo cultivations of Champaran were greatly exploited by the Europeans, by the Britishers at that time. They were bound by a law to grow indigo on 3/20th, that is Tin Kathia system. It was known as a Tin Kathia system of their land and sell it to the British planters to a price fixed by them. So the planters invited Gandhiji to take their cause, but the district authorities banned his entry. He offered Satyagraha, as a result of which an inquiry was conducted into the condition of the peasants. This helped in giving the indigo cultivation some relief. So it was his first achievement. First achievement was the Champaran. Then his second achievement was the Ahmedabad Satyagraha. Ahmedabad Satyagraha, where Gandhiji led the mill workers of Ahmedabad in a strike against the mill owner who had refused to pay them higher wages, while the workers seemed to weaken. He provided support to them by undertaking a fast hunger strike. It was an hunger strike. Afraid of the consequences, the mill owner agreed on the fourth day of Gandhiji's fast to give 35% increase in wages. It was his second achievement where he fought for the mill workers and they increased their 35% of salary. Then it was the Kheda Satyagraha in 1918, where the crops failed in Kheda and the peasants were not in the position to pay any taxes, any land revenue. The government refused to forego the land revenue, so Gandhiji organized the peasants to offer Satyagraha. The peasants refused to pay the revenue, and ultimately the government was forced to arrive in a settlement with peasants. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel became Gandhiji's follower during this struggle. And see, not only the Gandhiji was there, uh, along with him Sardar Patel and Abul Kalam Azad. Then you can see that Gandhiji's method of direction. What was his direction? Gandhiji's method was during the freedom struggle was Satyagraha. He believed in the Satyagraha. It is made up of two Sanskrit words. Satya means truth and Agraha means to hold fast. To Gandhiji, Satyagraha was a moral force born of truth and non-violence. He was a strong believer of non-violence. It meant that fearless, truthful, as well as peaceful, suffering willingly while refusing to submit to what is wrong. Then he made a distinction between the satyagraha and a passive resistance. Passive resistance does and not exclude of the use of physical force for purpose of gaining one end, whereas satyagraha excludes the uses of violence. Now, Gandhiji's second was ahimsa or non-violence, doctrine of non-violence. Non-violence or ahimsa means non-killing or avoiding injury. But for Gandhiji, it meant avoiding injury to anything by thought, word, or deed. According to Gandhiji, non-violence is not a negative but a positive and active force. Then the third he believed was Swadeshi. He always believed to use the Swadeshi product. Swadeshi means producing necessary items in one's own country and using them for one of use, being dependent or imported goods. So he used charkha and khadi. Then mass movement, it was his during the South African experiment. Gandhiji gave the experience of leading Indians belonging to different religions, regions, and social classes. South Africa built his faith, the ability of the Indian masses to participate in the freedom movement. Then, the first experiments of Satyagraha brought Gandhiji close contact with the masses. Both the peasants and the rural areas workers came nearer to him. Then he started non-cooperation movement. And during the First World War, the Congress cooperated with the British. Even Gandhiji argued the Gujarati peasants to join the army if they wanted to win Swaraj But events of 1919 like Khilafat wrongs, passing of the Rowlatt Act and Jallianwala Bagh tragedy gave disillusioned Gandhiji. So he turned from a cooperator to non-cooperator and decided to start a non-cooperation movement against Britishers. So the non-cooperation is a way of protesting in which one does not cooperate with the evil doer. Evil doer here is the Britishers. So Gandhiji started to non-cooperate with the Britishers. Now, causes that led to the non-cooperation movement. First was the Khilafat movement. Khilafat was the first during the First World War. Turkey was defeated, and the Ottoman Empire was divided. The Sultan of Turkey, who was the Caliph, was deprived of all authority. The Caliph was looked upon by a large section of Muslims as their religious head. They felt that the weakening of the Caliph position would adversely affect the position of the Muslims. So, in the First World War, the British fought against the Turkey. The Muslim population in India, the Muslim population in India started a powerful agitation, and that agitation was known as the Khilafat movement, led by Ali brothers Muhammad Ali and Shaukat Ali, Maulana Azad, Hakim Azmal Khan and Hazrat Mohani. Gandhiji and the Congress also supported this Khilafat movement, and Khilafat Day was observed on October 17, 1919. By August 1920, the Khilafat non-cooperation movement started. People resigned from the government offices, government services, shops selling foreign goods were picketed, students boycotted schools and colleges, and hartals and demonstrations were held. By the end of 1920, the Khilafat movement and the Congress non-cooperation movement merged into one nationwide movement. Then Gandhiji, another movement was the Rowlatt Act. On receiving the report from the Sedition Committee headed by the Justice Rowlatt, two bills were introduced in the Central Legislature in February 1919. The Rowlatt Act implied to arrest a person without any warrant. It was, see, what was in the bill? Arrest of a person without any warrant, in camera trial, restriction on movement of individuals, and suspension of the right of habeas corpus. So Gandhiji started Satyagraha as a challenge to the government. And third incident was a very tragic incident. It was a Jallianwala Bagh tragedy. A large but peacefully crowd gathered at Jallianwala Bagh on April 13, Baisakhi, to celebrate the Baisakhi and to protest against the leaders like Dr. Saifuddin Kichlu and Dr. Satyapal. Jallianwala Bagh had only one exit. In another three sides were enclosed by buildings. General Dyer, the military commander of Amritsar, he blocked that exit gate and he asked his soldiers to fire on the people gathered there. And after the massacre, the British government made a half-hearted attempt to constitutional reform, but it also made it clear that it had no intention of parting or political power, sharing it with the Indians. So the British government refused to annul the Rowlatt Act and make amend of the atrocities in Punjab. So that's all for today's session. We will start this chapter once again in our next section. Till then, have a nice day and take care of your health.